I've heard black men say, I'm not going to date a black woman because black women are too difficult. They get, they talk back.
Difficult?
Yeah, they talk back. Okay, you see what I'm saying? Like that.
All the things we said, like I love you so I'll never let you go. Do you remember? To be back in the spring, to be every morning birds.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Unique, and I'm here with a video talking about black men and their views on black women. And let's just get it straight here. Most of us black women can give a rat's ass, excuse my language, about what black men think about black women. It's just really sad that we have division between our kings. I call them kings because they are, it's really sad that we have divisions between black men, and and it's really sad we have conversations like this. But we do have black men and black women. I'm not being biased, but we do have black men and black women who do suffer from self-hatred. I just wanted to come on here and talk about a little bit about how sometimes the message of black men saying that they hate black women can be kind of distorted. And I ran across a couple that I recently just discovered on YouTube. They're fairly new, and it's this beautiful black couple. And basically there's a video out where they're talking about what their views on interracial relationships. And the husband touched a little bit on about black men, particularly how they have, where he's experienced from his own experience, and that's not coming out of my mouth, but he's experienced his fellow black men in his life who've used the word preference, and it's been kind of used in a hatred, derogatory term. And so I want to touch bases on that because sometimes there's some black men that really think that the word preference has no effect on women in general. The word preference, to my opinion, means requirement. That means that a lot of men put women in a box, and if you're not checked off from the box, it's like you're not in their spectrum. And at the end of the day, me personally, I don't live my life for men, so I can care less about it. But I know that does take a toll on, women that want to look for men that actually, care about them and accept them for who they are. I want to touch bases on that, and also I want to talk about how it also attaches to colorism. It's all included in this video I'm about to show you guys. So in between the videos, I'm going to be showing you clips of the video, and I'm going to be discussing it a little bit because it does kind of touch bases of how all black men do not act like this, but also be real and be like, yeah, there are black men that do have this mindset. And so this is just a video to show that a lot of people, for the haters that say that a lot of black women are biased, to be honest with you, we're not. And actually we don't want it to be true. Black women don't want that to be true, that there's colorism in the black community. I don't want that to be true. I want all of my black people to be able to be united. I wanted to show you another brother that has that same representation and mindset that I do share, that I love. And I hope you guys love this video. And we're going to be touching a little bit about hair, not too much. I might have another video about talking about hair types and how black men characterize hair types to be the standard of beauty, and what to potentially make you like a lover or a girlfriend, all of that stuff. Okay, so let's get started. Before we start, I wanted to tell you guys thank you so much for responding to a video I just previously posted. Thank you so much for your feedback. That lets me know that you guys enjoy what I have to say and the issues that need to be addressed. So thank you so much for that, and also reaching me out on Instagram. Thank you so much. And if you haven't followed me on Instagram, my Instagram name is I am Goddess Gold, so make sure you follow me on Instagram. And so let me stop talking and let's get into this video.
I have a question for you.
What's up?
How do you feel about people that prefer a different ethnicity type than what they are?
I'll say, so you're saying if they're attracted to someone that looks different than them. I just say, I think we're free as believers. We're free, even the unbelievers. You're free to love and be attracted to whoever you want to be attracted to. I do have some beef with some of my brothers out there who feel like, black women can't be attractive because their hair type is a particular, their hair is too thick or too short or whatever the case may be, or they can't, I can't do a dark skin. I mean, you can have your preferences. I hear that, but I just hope your preference is coming from a pure place rather than a self-hatred.
Right.
That says, I don't want to be with a dark-skinned woman because I don't want my kids to be dark-skinned. Like, please don't say that around me because that type of stuff will make me want to fight. Don't say it around me.
Okay, so you just heard from a black man that there's a lot of black men out there. Well, there's some black men out there that actually, feel like they can't handle a black woman for some reason. I don't know if it's just a stereotype that we're all angry, we don't have class, we're ratchet, ghetto, blah, blah, blah. And to be honest with you, it's kind of like, we want to stop stereotypes in our community, but a lot of people in our community, women and men, we drive this stereotype, we keep it going. So it's kind of like when we bring it into, like, say, a relationship dimension, it's like, we really enforce it. Well, I don't want my child to be ratchet, ghetto and dark. It's like you are attaching that negative connotation without even getting to know the person that you might have interest in. And it's like, it's so crazy because it's like people, black men will look at a dark-skinned woman, or just, let's be honest, just a black woman. It could be a light-skinned woman or a dark-skinned woman, and look at them and be like, well, I don't know if I can handle her. Maybe she might be too loud and too vocal. And it's just like, I don't see how black men keep reinforcing that stereotype. Yes, I understand that we have media that surrounds that, but at the end of the day, that's not the representation of all black women, okay? All black women do not act like that. Do I know that there's some black women that, kind of feed into the stereotype? Absolutely. But to attach race to someone's behavior is not acceptable, and I think that's what we kind of, divide and draw an error from. And it's just like, I don't know how we just draw race and behavior and make that similar. I don't agree with that, because you have people that are white, you have people that are Hispanic, you have people that are from different cultures that can act a ratchet way, okay? That can act loud and who can act crazy. But to say that race is the reason for it is what we all have to kind of like wash our hands. And he also mentioned like dark skin and dark-skinned men saying that, I don't know if I want a dark-skinned woman that has kinky hair, and we all know what he's talking about, 4C type 4 hair. And so that also is kind of like draw from that too. Okay, so you see images that we've seen in the past about how, black women, we may not be taking care of our hair. All black women wear weaves and wigs and all this other bullshit. And it's just like, I can't believe black men kind of just feel like we're the blame for it. It's like, it's almost like you can say, and you can also say in a way that black men don't see the truth. I think a lot of black men do know the reason why black women in the first place have tried to assimilate. I will say assimilate because that was appropriate for the, the generational reason of why a lot of black women didn't wear their hair in the previous decades is because we had to assimilate for a long time to fit this white standard of beauty. And you know, some black men might say, well, okay, we're out of that. We see more representation of black women wearing their natural hair and things like that. But in all honesty, a lot of men do not realize that the natural hair community was created for women who had type 4 hair, okay? Kinky hair. This is my natural hair, kinky hair, okay? And so a lot of times now we see in the natural hair community, we see more images of the girls who have the loose curls, you know, 3C type hair. We also have to mention that we have girls that have coils, who have kinkier textures, who have more afro textures. And so that is what stemmed from the natural hair community. So a lot of women, I'm not saying black women are afraid to wear their natural hair, but they have to understand that a lot of black women have seen images that they don't see representation of. And like I said, that doesn't make an excuse for black women not wearing their natural hair. And like I said, black women, we've now made hair something that's we embrace. If we wear wigs, it's an accessory, kind of like hypocrisy, really, because you know, you can say, well, black women, we wear weaves, wigs all that time, all the time and all that, but then you're not going to say anything to a girl of a different race that's wearing our hair texture, braids, that's getting hair extensions. They call it hair extensions, but we all know it's a weave. You're not going to question her if she's getting hair extensions, or you're not going to question her if she's getting wigs. Black men, they have to do more talking with black women, getting to know us, because in general, we can say the same thing that, you know, black men might be saying, well, the world doesn't want to get to know me, but then my own, you know, men that are supposed to protect me don't want to get to know me. Understanding black women in general, I think that whole ideal of how black women, we always wear wigs, weaves, or, you know, black women, they're insecure about the color of their skin or their hair, it goes away because you kind of understand the context and you're aware of how a lot of things are distorted in media, through talk, and sadly it's been taught to a lot of people, and that's how those reasonings come about. So just to kind of keep it flowing, let's get back into the video. And yeah,
love for ourselves. So if he's advising us to love others the way we love ourselves, we're not loving other people with a shabby, dismissive love. We're loving people with a profound love. And it's natural. It should be natural for me to be attracted or to like or to love what looks like me.
Right.
That shouldn't
Amen.
be difficult at all. It shouldn't be difficult for me to look at my sister, to look at my mother, to see my grandmothers, my aunties, and say, this is beautiful. I like this. Now, what may be more challenging is to say, logistically, how can I love someone who doesn't look like me, who thinks differently than me, who comes from a different ethnic background? So I think it's really sad, because even more than just physical attraction, I've heard black men say, I'm not going to date a black woman because black women are too difficult. They get, you know, they talk back.
Difficult?
Yeah, they talk back. Okay, you see what I'm saying? Like that. They say they talk back too much and things like that. But I have a problem with that, because the very monster that you feel has caused them to want to talk back is the same monster that has caused you to be so ignorant about your own kind. Like, whatever that has caused them to build up this toughness to say, look, you can't run over on me, you can't abuse me, you can't belittle me. It's coming from that same stand up and fight back against that very mentality that got you wanting to dismiss them and to degrade them by you saying they are not.
I love that he said this, because it basically answers all the ignorant comments that a lot of people, black men and black women, have said about how, oh, you know, black men, or they say dark-skinned men, hate themselves. I don't believe in that. Do I believe that there's black men that are insecure about who they are and don't like what they look like? They don't embrace their African features. I do believe that, and there are also women out there that also are very insecure about how they look and not wanting to embrace their African features, because it's on both sides. But when we're talking about in the context of black men, this answers a lot of the reasons why black men, they should be able to rebuke a lot of those negative connotations that are to black women, because basically we've been taught from slavery that black women are not the desired women. And it's like, to keep that going is that same mentality and that white supremacy that's basically the poison to the mind. If we keep drinking the poison, sooner or later it's gonna be in our mind, it's gonna be in our soul, and that's what we become. He is woke. He's got a beautiful black woman right there with him, and he knows that he has to respect his daughters, he gotta respect his mothers, everybody that's came before him. I love that. Let's continue.
Start from self-love, because it's biblical. God expects us to love ourselves, to love each other. Love thy neighbor doesn't mean love the people that live next door to you. Love thy neighbor means, if you remember the story of the Good Samaritan, to love people you've been conditioned to hate. The story of the Good Samaritan was about a Jew that was beat up, and a Samaritan who was supposed to be hated by the Jews. The Samaritan was supposed to hate the Jews, and Jews were supposed to hate the Samaritan. Samaritan came along and helped him and brought him healing. And so if we're going to take that example, then we have to understand when Christ says to love our neighbors, it means love people that society, that life has conditioned you to hate. Love them. So basically, love your enemies. That's in essence what it's saying. So when I hear black people saying that it's hard to love people that look like them, it's hard to love your mother, your sister, your grandparents, everything you look like. It's hard to look in the mirror and say you love that. Mm-hmm. That's absurd. It's almost it's perverted. It's out of order. It's out of order to have self-hatred. So I just encourage, if you have a preference, please don't let it come from a place of self-hatred and self-sabotage. And I encourage my sisters out there, look, I feel like my black sisters out there are committed to black men. And it feels like, they feel like if they can't get black men, then all hope is lost. I've heard women say, there are no men out there. Really what it means, what they're saying is there are no black men out there. And a lot of times they feel like that because a lot of the black men are running away from black women. So the charge first is to black men. Hey, look, stop running away from your own community. Stop running away from yourself. Right. Love yourself. And when you love yourself and appreciate your sisters, you build them up. You let them know that they're beautiful before anyone outside of the community lets them know they're beautiful. That's your response.
Okay, let me just give this person a round of applause. He gave us a reasoning, and also he gave us, if I don't know if many people are religious, but he referred a lot of the things that we do or we think refer to the Bible. And if we can refer to the Bible, it's just we have to love who we are, and basically, God created us in his own image. And so, you have to love that image. You have to love who surrounds you. And so he basically said it like that. And he said black men have to step up, because once you get to that point of loving that image and seeing that image look back at you, it's like nothing can really kind of infect your mind with that negative, false perception of black women. And so he basically said that, and I love that, and I felt that. And I felt really, to be honest, that there are black men out there that don't think the same way as other black men. And so black women, we have to understand that. And that's the reason why a lot of black women still stand for black men. But also, like he said, black women, we can't always just think that all black men think like this. And if some do, we kind of have to we're strong women, and it's nothing wrong with dating outside your race. But don't do it for the purpose because black men are not checking for you anymore. It's just your self-worth, and if someone of a particular race isn't doing that for you, and you haven't seen any results of it, then go for it. And I'm amazed at what he's saying. It's like, it's great. You don't hear this a lot, which is uncommon, sadly.
I feel I'm indebted to that because I have black daughters.
Right.
It's my responsibility to let them know that they're beautiful before anybody else tells them that they are, that they're valued, that they're worth it. And so if you do have a preference outside of you taking care of your responsibility, I think you're entitled to that. Love whoever, whatever the case may be. Sisters, keep your, if God says you're going to marry a white man, don't feel like, oh Lord, I can't do that. Listen, just be open to whatever God has. But
Get you that white man. I mean that right man.
Listen, ain't nothing wrong with it. Love out there is some beautiful interracial relationships, and there's a beauty when two people that are different from different backgrounds come together and love each other fearlessly and purely. That's a beautiful thing.
And they both accept each other's cultural differences.
Yeah,
and embrace it.
But it does not take away that it is natural. It is godly and natural for us to look at each other and say, "You're valuable. You're beautiful. I love you." And then if we can come from that place. That love, that basis, that foundation of love that we have for each other allows us to be able to love people that might be more difficult, or it may be more inconvenient for us to love them, but God still gives us permission to love them. So that's all. That's my long
What was my
soapbox
question?
That's my soapbox answer for today.
All right.
All right.
So let's give it up for this beautiful couple. Their name on YouTube, let me check for y'all. I can't pronounce their name on YouTube, but sorry if they're watching this. Please correct me if I said it wrong. It's the Arzanwus. So check them out on YouTube. I'll link the video that we just discussed down below in the description box. I just thought this would be a great video to kind of like answer the question. I mean, do black men hate black women? And I think that it's not really a yes or no answer. I do believe that black men and women, we have to do our own soul searching. And like he said, if it's a issue or you find it a problem that it's unnatural to love somebody that looks like you, then it's more like we have to do our own individual work and see the reason why we don't naturally love the people that look like yourself. It gives you a clearer understanding about what women want answers from, what men want answers from, and yeah, and it's all about representation. See, a lot of the things are distorted because we get false images of what black men think and what black men do. And there's a lot of black men that support black women. He's married to a black woman and has black children, has black daughters. So it's like we don't see that all the time, but we're quick to say about, oh, black men, they don't like black women because this and that, and they choose not to marry a black woman, or that's why we have more single black mothers. No, we have representation here. They are a married couple. They have black children. He loves her. They have a great relationship with the Lord, with God, and it's beautiful, and we don't see that all the time. So I hope you guys watch this video, and I hope you guys love this video that we talked about today. And if you want to see more videos like this, me talking about topics that are just essentially about getting to know yourself as a black person, and I love these. I might turn this into a series because it's really about everybody, women and men, and I want to do a segment on women and I want to do a segment on men. But I also want to know if black men who sub my channel, I don't want them to feel biased about what I say, because I want to be able to talk about black men and talk about a lot of things that black men view, which I just did right now. and do women, because of course that's gonna be the central of what I'm gonna be talking about is Black women, because I can only know my perspective, I can only know my experience, but you know, I want to be able to interact with Black men and what their views are, and yeah, so I hope you guys love this video. Give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Love yourself, and stay Black and stay beautiful. Love you guys.